Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Hard Nine podcast. Today is Wednesday, January the 14th. Hope all of you had a fantastic holiday season, as we have now down here entered into Mardi Gras season. And with that being said, on the baseball front, we are full bore on the hot stove season, and the Cardinals are now sans a third baseman.
No, they just have one less of the four they had beforehand. Yeah, Nolan Arenado. I want to. He's gone. He's in Arizona. Everyone watching this, yeah, I'm assuming you already know that. I want to start by talking about the moment we heard Nolan Arenado was coming to St. Louis. We
And
were
how
watching
excited
that
we were.
horrible Denzel Washington Jared Leto movie, The Little Things. That movie's so disappointing. During COVID, like during the peak of COVID, I know it was like a year after, but it
It's
was
my
like during.
birthday.
Was it your birthday?
Yeah, that's why your mom rented out. We rented out an entire
No, see,
theater.
like you're already telling the story wrong. We were in our basement. That's not what happened.
Oh,
That
different
movie was
movie.
actually horrible, whatever that movie was
There
we
you
saw.
go. There
But
you go.
no,
You're right.
this
You're right.
movie
You're right.
was
You're right. Different
horrible,
movie.
just given expectations. Either way, we were watching it, and I was like, pause the movie. And we were at the climax, and my mom was mad, and she was like, why are we pausing the movie? I'm like, the Cardinals just got Nolan Arenado.
Yeah.
And I've never been so excited. That was the most excited I've ever been for a Cardinals acquisition in my life. By far. It's not even close. And um, he gave us 2 seasons of really fun baseball. One season of some of the best baseball I've ever seen a Cardinal player play. Like top five seasons, probably for sure in my lifetime. Maybe, and three of those are probably Albert seasons. And it ended poorly, but I do think it's gonna be he's gonna be a player I remember watching for the rest of my life, even though the last 3 years have been underwhelming.
So how is the Nolan Arenado St. Louis Cardinals story told when it's all said and done? That's part one of the question. Part two, how do you feel as a fan that he is not here, even knowing the organizations where we're heading? And then part three, does he get a jacket as a Cardinals Hall of Famer?
He shouldn't. I mean, he just, I don't know. I mean, and I don't mean that to sound harsh, but if David Freese doesn't think he deserves one, you know. But I think for Nolan, like I've been harsh on Nolan on here. I think probably looking back unfairly at times, just not about his play, and sometimes he looked, so frustrated that it was palpable and frustrating to just watch as a fan. But his story, I don't know. I think it kind of begins and ends with 2022. If you want to tell the good part of Nolan Arenado. Like 2021, that crazy run, he was just kind of good that season. He wasn't great. And in 2022, he was amazing. Like amazing that entire season. I guess with him and Goldie both, I think Goldie kind of gets unfairly lumped in with Nolan. And this, because Goldie was better for more years, had a great 2019 postseason. Um, but I think it's going to be disappointment, is what people remember. And that's sad to say, but that's just kind of the reality of what it was for 5 years.
Yeah, so if you look like in 2021 and 2022, um, those were the like I mean, if you look overall, right, if you look at his OPS plus, 19% above league average in 2021.
Not good, which isn't good enough for what they're
Right,
paying him.
agreed for what we expected. Um, 51% in 2022, then 8, 2%, and then 14% under in his final year here in St.
Mhm.
Louis. I think a lot of people are going to probably boil it down very much to the lack of him showing up at all in the postseason. I think that
Which is that
I'm
unfair
not saying it's
considering
right.
his
I'm not
well
saying
his
it's right.
it's a hard conversation to have because on one hand you say he only had 3 games, right? That's a very small
Right.
sample size.
I get
But
it.
the other hand is that he's also one of the reasons he only had 3 games.
Correct.
You know,
Correct.
and he was not the only reason, definitely not. But yeah, the lack of postseason success is not one postseason win in the Arenado Goldschmidt era. And when they were together, obviously Goldie went to the NLCS. But for Arenado, he had more postseason wins in Colorado than in St. Louis. Like
There's a
that's
nugget.
sad.
That's a little nugget for you.
I will say, just before we get into any more of like some of the disappointing things of Nolan's career, I do want to say he had probably the most heartfelt message on Instagram I've ever seen from a player leaving an organization in general. And I recommend you go read it. I'm not going to read all of it, but I will read the paragraph he wrote to the fans because I thought it was kind of cute and I liked it. So I'm gonna read it.
Cute. Did
Yeah,
you
it was
say
cute.
cute?
Yes, listen to it. You'll understand. It's about a baby. Okay, you ready? So he
Yeah.
said, to the fans, I can't thank you enough for the love you have shown me through the good and the bad. Your love for your Cardinals is special, and I wanted to make you guys so proud. I remember dad jokes. No, sorry, gosh. I remember when my wife and I had our baby at Mercy, and I made a bad dad joke to the nurse that our daughter was such a fussy baby. She didn't miss a beat and replied, kind of like her daddy was yesterday. I was thrown out of a game in Chicago the night before. I loved it so much because I know how much you all care about your team and your city. St. Louis is a really special place, and I truly thank God I had the opportunity to play here for you all. I think for a guy who we kind of assumed was unhappy the last 3 years, that he seemed like he was really sad that this chapter of his life is over and that it
Yeah,
didn't
I
work out
agree.
better. And just knowing, I don't know him, but knowing of him, knowing kind of how he works, just from watching him every day for 6 months for the last 5 years. Um, I guarantee you no one is more disappointed and feels more like they're to blame more for what happened over the last 3 years than Nolan Arenado.
Yeah, I agree. I
And that
agree.
sucks. I don't want him to feel that
I,
way.
and I don't want to look back as it being so unfun because I'm going to be honest, he wasn't set up here outside of really honestly 2022. I mean
Which he was.
2021.
2022 was a good team.
Agreed. I said outside of 2022.
I know. I'm just
Like
saying that was a really good team. That was the year to take a
and
shot.
then 2023 we saw the collapse happen that I don't think most of us expected. We thought maybe there'd be a downtake, but we didn't see it like that as far as the organization. And then obviously we had the issues of where we heard about the rumblings of he wanted veterans in the clubhouse and things like that. And I
Hmm.
think those are the things then that started to really crack away at the almost shield that was Nolan Arenado here in St. Louis. And then it just really, I mean, then his performance last year and we saw the performance really start. What was it? The last half of
2023.
23, right? Well, essentially all the way through the end of his career here, where it just was not, there was never a moment. Remember, we saw the moment on opening day. We were there. We saw a couple, there were other moments that he had. I think there was a home run in Wrigley Field. I think there was a couple other
He had some
moments
moments
that
in the
he
regular season,
absolutely,
for sure.
but then the moments just went away and there were no moments.
Look back to that postseason where he had a ball that should have been a home run, but Busch Stadium killed it against Zach Wheeler in the game we were at. That ball was hit like 100. I think it had like a 950 expected batting average and hit like 105, and it was a fly out to left field.
Right,
Um, in game one of the 2022 postseason. Yeah, it sucks, and it also part of me is frustrated as well that John Mozeliak put his team in a position for his first 2 years where him and Goldie were elite, and they had a chance to go for it, and he didn't give that. He didn't do enough. Him and Bill DeWitt Jr. Together didn't do enough to make that team not have to play 1 and 2 game playoffs series. You
right.
put enough
Agreed.
around him to where they're not playing in a wild card series, you don't know what happens.
Yeah, I agree 100%. And it's, that was the thing I think where I talk about not setting him up as far as the success he could have had here. I mean, we saw with Matt Holliday here, who also had some incredible years here as a Cardinal,
Won a
but
World
we also
Series.
saw that he had players around him his entire tenure that he was here for the most
I
part.
mean, on the best teams he was on, he wasn't even the best player.
Correct, correct. So,
2013 he might have been, but that's it.
yeah,
That's it. You know.
yeah,
So it sucks. Like it really does suck. And I was ready for him to be gone. We've been open about that on here. But I think yesterday and today I've like reflected on what it's like to watch Hall of Famers. Because when was the last time the Cardinals didn't have a Hall of Famer on their roster, Dad?
yeah,
But before Pujols
yeah,
and Jim Edmonds
absolutely
might get
before
in the Hall
pool.
of Fame.
Well, but then you had McGuire. Well, yeah, I mean,
McGuire's not in the Hall
obviously,
of Fame.
yeah, that's true.
So
Yep,
that might be the last time. It's one of the first times in Bill DeWitt's tenure that you didn't have let's just say a Hall of Fame caliber player on your team. Because Mark
right,
McGuire was very much that outside of the off the field and drugs. Um, and so this is going to be the first time, unless JJ Weatherholt ends up being that, obviously, or Mason Wynn ends up being that. We don't know what these guys will become. But as of now, what we see, there's definitely not a Hall of Famer on this team.
right. Oh, no.
At least one that's like on pace to be a Hall of
Correct.
Famer at this point in time. And I don't know if I appreciated it enough watching him in the first 2 seasons, mainly because I assumed I was going to get 6 more seasons to be able to watch him. I didn't know how fleeting it was going to be, how great he was for those 2 years. But it really was a joy, and I'm going to miss watching him play third base more than I'm
We
going
agree.
to miss watching him hit.
We agree.
Also,
Um,
one last thing. Sorry,
yeah.
this is the last thing, and then we can move on to something else, or you can say whatever you had left. Um, I will say, other than Yachty in my life and Chris Carpenter, I'll give those two. He's the only player I've watched where I felt like cared as much or more than I did watching. Just the way that he
I'm
played.
surprised you did not include Willie in there.
Oh, okay, fair enough, fair enough. But let's say a guy that played for a significant period of time then with the Cardinals.
Goldie?
Just emotion wise, like
I
what he
got you.
showed,
I got
like the
you.
passion he showed on the field matches the passion that we all have in our basement when we're
Yeah.
watching the game. It's
Yeah.
like Goldie would hit a home run that's huge and he just walk around the bases. But
Yeah.
like he had reactions, like I have crazy reactions when I'm watching Cardinal games, you know this. And his reactions on the field were crazier than mine, and he's a millionaire playing baseball, gonna go into the Hall of Fame. And I appreciate that. I never for a second felt like he didn't care more than everybody else on the field.
No, I agree. I agree. I like I said, I don't think that it was what we were hoping. I will say, I think I still always will wonder. We'll never. I mean, maybe we will know. Maybe we'll find out when he goes to Arizona, which is obviously a more hitter-friendly park than St. Louis. But it does make you wonder if the leaving. I mean, we've seen it with so many players leaving Colorado, and you just see the drop and the decline in
I
performance.
don't think that's
Now,
fair.
I don't know. I don't know. I mean, it
Because
could
he still had
be.
2 years where he hit over 30 homers. One he finished top three in
He
MVP
did. I'm
voting.
not saying that there's not going to be power there. There's
I
not
think
going to
it's
be
his
anomalies there.
age.
That's, I
You
believe, a
know,
lot
you
of
know,
it.
you know
Correct.
what I also was thinking, and I think this is interesting. The Cardinals have made a living getting for my entire life and the last since Bill DeWitt's been around, getting guys in their 30s that were superstars at one point or are still superstars, and those guys kind of maintaining for longer than they reasonably should. You're saying about how long Yachty and Wayno were good, but just for acquisitions, Larry Walker, Carlos Beltran, Lance Berkman, Matt Holliday, Goldie. Nolan's really the first one of those guys that came over here, Scott Rowland, that came over here and we saw the decline. The other guys kind of
Agreed.
kept it up for a long time. Like those
Yeah,
guys,
agreed.
so I think their model worked for a long time. This was just a guy that I think he played so hard and played through so many things, he just declined faster than you thought he would.
Yep, I agree. I agree.
I think he's gonna do in
So
Arizona.
as we move forward, the reset is here. Like the
Yeah,
reset is in full effect. We don't have to talk about the return. I don't know. Hopefully he's good. He's a pitcher, eighth round draft pick, I believe. I am still. Can I just say
Martinez.
this? Can I just say this? And I'm sure that a lot of the people listening and watching right now, thank you very much. By the way, if you'd hit that subscribe and follow button, we'd appreciate that. Um, Sorry for the however I sound. I've been battling the ick for like 3 weeks, so we still got that going on here. But no matter what, like I'm still amazed by the amount of people who just aren't paying attention to what's going on and are surprised at the return that you got for Nolan Arenado as if they were going to get an elite prospect. I don't know if this guy's any good or not, but in the
Eighth
way
round
I
draft
view
pick.
it, huh?
He's an eighth round draft pick from last year.
Right. We have no idea. That does now that
Throws
he could be
hard.
great. He could
Yeah,
end up being great.
yeah, he throws hard, and his last name is spelled Martinez and it's pronounced Martinez, so that's fun.
There was a guy I went to high school with a guy same way. Very
He went
bizarre
to
that that is.
Louisiana. Oh God, Louisiana Lafayette, I think.
Cajun, Raging Cajuns.
No, that's not right. Maybe he did for a year, and then he went to Arizona State. But
Okay.
anyway,
Um, So anyway, I was surprised by that. That the thought process was still that you could get maybe something really good for Nolan Arenado when it
who
was
thought
obvious
that
that it
though?
seemed like the only market was San Diego and Arizona. Now there could have been other teams. We don't know who else was involved, but it felt like you had to go to Nolan and get him to waive the no trade clause to go ahead. And it just felt like it was the parting for both parties that needed to happen. And it definitely needed to happen for the Cardinals because even though you're paying a big chunk of the money, people can get into that and have their own opinions. That's not the point. The point was to move on and to completely have a reset that was not going to include an aging veteran declining who was going to take away at bats and playing time from a younger player.
Yeah, that's obviously the point. And I think most people understand that. Cardinal fans, for the most part, are not dumb. Like, there's dumb people in every single circle of every single place you'll ever go in life. But most of them understand. And it is new to even like you. Like, when was the last time you saw a star player traded for this reason? Like, Jim Edmonds got traded, but it wasn't really for this reason. It wasn't because they weren't trying to compete. Um, so that doesn't happen very often. But once again, kudos to Bill DeWitt Jr. for spending $31 million to get him traded.
Right,
That's
agreed.
a crazy amount of money.
I
Kyle
know.
Reese had a tweet that I thought was interesting. So Arenado signed that deal. It was like $280 million, right around there. Maybe it was over 300. It was in that area. $85 million of that money have been eaten by two teams for him to be traded. Isn't that crazy?
I know.
It's wild. And I don't think that's even a reflection on him. I think it's just a reflection of two situations that were kind of unique and went poorly while he was there. How do you think he's going to do in Arizona? You think he's going to bounce back at all in that ballpark?
I mean, the law of averages would say he'll have a better year in 2026 than he did in 2025. Do I think that it's going to be a substantially improved year? Probably not.
No, I think. I mean, he could get closer to 20 homers than he was last year, I'm sure. Like he had 12 in 108 games, so if he plays 140, he might just get there anyway. But playing that stadium, he could have a better year. I don't know. I
Do
hope he
the
does. I'm not rooting
do the
against him.
Diamondbacks just have no faith in Jordan Lawler at all?
I think organizations will tell you through their actions what they think of players.
Yeah, I mean, we
Yeah.
agree.
And the fact that he's been horrible every time he's come up. Also, an interesting note on the Diamondbacks that isn't relevant to us at all. Their prospects a lot of the time are really inflated because they play in like the easiest league in baseball to hit at. They just
Yeah, is
like
that was
everyone
it that
rakes down there.
California League or whatever it's called out
Yeah, it's
there?
like their 15th ranked prospect has like 1,000 OPS. It's like crazy down there in Albuquerque. I think that's where their AAA team is. I don't know.
That's where
Anyways,
LA used to be. I don't know where it is now though.
y-
Albert,
y-
that used to be theirs.
I could be wrong. Whatever, wherever it's at. So it's just interesting because you like guys like Jordan Lawler, who's just his minor league stats for a while there were insane for his age, and he's just not
Well,
good. I
it's
think
been the same with the Angels out there. I think Brandon Wood wasn't that the prospect who, if you looked at his minor league career
Marsh.
in that league, he had like 40 home runs every year and then never ever could put it together at the big. Like that league is the stats have always been inflated out west in those
Yeah,
leagues. The park's like 310 to left field
and
and
it's
they
just
ball just flies.
and it's hot every day.
Correct. Yep.
Um,
Anyway, we hope he's great. Mr. Martinez is fantastic. You did eat a bunch of salary, but let's move on because we have now said goodbye to Sonny Gray, Wilson Contreras, and we have said goodbye to Nolan Arenado. Those were three pieces that I think, when signed and traded for, the Cardinal fan base thought were going to be cornerstones of this future Cardinal team, probably into the 2030s, right? Or in that area at least.
None of those three players were signed in 2030.
Okay, late 2020s. I mean, I'm just saying,
At least now in
leading us into
2026
that
for
era,
sure.
right? Leading us into that era is what I meant. Um, and the success rate was not great outside of 2022. So, with
And only
Heim
one of
Bloom
those
in
was there.
charge, do you think that this sets up for is Brendan Donovan next, or do you believe that he's a St. Louis Cardinal in 2026?
He should be gone, but I am seeing more and more of softening the blow for a potential of him being back.
Correct.
And I don't know if that's going to happen. It could just be simply that they traded Nolan and now they've got leverage back on their side because JJ Weatherholt now has a spot to play. And a team can't use that against you. So now you can say, well, we can keep him. Like we have spots now for him. We've traded Nolan. We've traded Wilson. We have spots for him if we want him to play and be here. I still would lean 70-30 that he's gone. I just, if they don't get the return that they think they should be getting, I still think that that might just mean you're overvaluing him.
We agree on that, by the way.
Like he's a really good player, but like Nico Horner might be on the market. That guy was a 6'4" player. Brendan Donovan has never done that.
Right.
And so if
What's Donovan's age? Is he 28, 27?
29, I believe.
Okay, yeah.
Like I just don't see any reason to risk going into the season with him on your team. Because
We
if he has a great season, maybe you get more at the deadline. It's possible. But what if you don't and you get the same or less? But or he gets hurt. He's had a history here the last few years of having injuries that have really declined his offensive performance. He was an
Yep.
all-star for the first half last year. He was not an all-star in the second half because he had injuries. I just don't know why that would be a risk that you take on when it's clear that moving him benefits you in multiple ways.
Yeah, I agree.
And if you want to extend him, dude, I would disagree with extending him, but at least then I understand that he's a part of your future. But if you're not extending him, then there's just absolutely no reason to have him here come February, honestly.
Yeah,
Mid-February.
I agree. I thought that we would have seen this maybe by now, trade for Brendan Donovan, but maybe that market isn't as hot as we thought it was going to be either.
I mean, is it a little bit worrisome that the Diamondbacks couldn't get any offer for Ketel Marte they liked?
Yes. What
Like
does
that should
Donnie's contract look like past this year?
It's this year and next year that he has
That's
on his
that's what I thought.
contract.
I thought
He's
he had a
making
full
like
another year.
4 or 5 million this year. It's like basically nothing.
Yeah.
For what he does on the field, obviously that's an insane amount of money. But for his value, that's surplus value, and he's not going to go up very much the next year. So I don't know. They should move him. The Giants apparently are really in on second baseman right now. I don't know what they have that would be intriguing. I still think the Mariners are the best fit. And a report came out today that they're interested in JoJo. I've thought the entire offseason it made a lot of sense to maybe send both of those guys there if that can get you a better prospect than what they would give you for one of them. But I just, as of right now, until the tweet hits, which could happen tomorrow, I'm kind of skeptical that they're going to find what they're looking for.
As soon as we post the pod, it will come out.
I was gonna say it wouldn't shock me if they try to get this done before winter warm up, which is Saturday.
Yeah. Oh, is that when it starts?
Yeah,
I used to enjoy the winter warm up. I think your mom and I went a couple
I've never
times.
been.
Yep. I didn't love that you had to pay and really like fight in lines for autographs. Like that wasn't my favorite thing because you had to pay to get in, and then you had to like I don't know. Like the fan experience could be the fan experience and done probably way more efficient than it is.
Yeah, there's some issues. I still think it's cool. Most teams don't do stuff like that.
Absolutely, we agree on that. Yeah, I think it's really cool. All right,
Do you
so
think
we
he's
also,
traded?
huh?
Do you think Donovan's traded?
My stance is almost exactly as yours. Do I believe he should be? Absolutely. Am I concerned that he won't be? Absolutely. Well, I just feel like we've seen this before so many times with the Cardinals where you do actually hold a card, like no pun intended, that has value and you just keep holding on to the card and watch it like lose value. It's like almost for those of you who are gamblers and you get on FanDuel and you've won. You've won your parlay, but you still have one leg left and it's giving you the really good cash out option, but you want to hit the full Monty of the money. And then all you do for the next 2 hours is watch that value drop
And
down
then Nico
until
Collins
you've
gets
either
hurt.
lost your bet or you get back what you put in. That's it.
Then Nico Collins gets hurt. Yes, been there.
Bingo. Bingo. That's exact.
Happened to me
Anthony
literally on
Davis to
Sunday.
locker room. Yeah,
uh,
100%.
yeah, I don't. Well, let's go down this road for 1 second because I do think it's worth talking about. Because I think honestly, I doubt this drags out till February. I think either they trade him or they say we're not trading him. I don't think it's good to let this linger out there through spring training. To be honest with you, just do it or don't. What are the potential benefits of him being around for the first half of the season? What is
I
the
think it's. I
upside
mean,
to this move?
it does feel like, and then I've heard a couple people say this, and I don't disagree with what they're saying. But if you trade Donnie outside of Newt, who I do assume as of now is going to probably be here, I
I've
would.
heard nothing about him getting traded.
Right, same. You don't have a lot of veteran leadership in that locker room, and I don't know I don't know how Heim Bloom values that, and I don't know the net necessity for it. Like I don't know if that is one of those things that is more overblown in baseball than we think, or if it only matters when your team is good, and then you look at how good you're. Like I just don't know. I've never been in a major league locker room. We can all sit here and kind of come up with an idea, but I have no idea. So I don't know if that's it. Obviously, he gives you stabilization at a position that maybe you're not sure, and it gives you a guy, probably a face of the team for 2026. But do you really need a face of the St. Louis Cardinals for 2026?
You do, but it needs to be a young guy that emerges into that.
Yeah, but who is that? Like,
Ivan Herrera,
let's
JJ
hope.
Weatherholt,
Yeah, I
Mason
mean,
Wynn.
we thought it was going to be Mason Wynn, and I don't know that it's going to be Mason Wynn. I
It might
hope it
be just
is.
because he's so fun, and obviously we know Cardinals fans
Right.
are obsessed with defense, and he's incredible at that. For the leadership part of it, there is a value to it for sure. I can't quantify it. I do know that it seems that every single person who has been in major league locker rooms heavily values it. So
Agreed.
that's all I can say on that. I don't know. I know that as Cardinal fans, we valued Yachty for his intangibles, which go far beyond what a second baseman can do. I understand that, but we can't act like it doesn't matter with Donovan. I do think that there is value to that. Not enough to override making your team better for the future by any means, but it is a part of like maybe that could help out JJ Weatherholt because him and Donovan are similar players in terms of what how they approach playing, except for I think Weatherholt obviously a little bit more talented. Um, Other than that, I only see downside.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe I'm being unfair. Like, what are the odds he goes out there and has a first half that's so good that it raises his value?
Yeah, let me ask you this. Like, do you also then wonder if we're talking about this, like other organizations are maybe seeing the same thing? Like, is it worth parting with said prospect to fill a hole right now when you can fill it internally and then address it at the trade deadline? I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I got to assume Seattle to us from a perspective makes a load of sense. It seems like it would make a ton of sense for them. San Francisco probably the same way, but I don't know how those organizations view that. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, the question they'd have to ask themselves is how many more games do you think you win in the first half without Brendan Donovan? I mean, with
Right.
Brendan Donovan. And if the answer could be four, and that's a lot of games. Like
Correct.
that's the difference between you making the postseason and not.
Especially in the AL West.
And that might be then that's obviously he's not a four war player in the first half of the season. Just I don't know what their internal valuations are. I do think whatever fan base gets him is going to be pissed off of whatever they traded for him, and then they're going to very quickly not care after they watch him play baseball.
Okay.
I mean, seriously, he's a guy that is always more valuable to your team than he is to you trading him. I still believe that because I think when you watch Brendan Donovan play, every single game you win, he did something in that game to help you win.
Yeah, I agree. We both big time Donnie fans. Like this isn't, hey, we want Brendan Donovan out of St. Louis. This is let's look at the macro of the situation.
I wish
And
he was
that
25.
situation is if we're moving forward, in my opinion, unless you're going to deal with Nolan Gorman, then I would love to see Gorman and Weatherholt get as many at bats in 2026 as possible because those
Yep.
are two guys moving forward that we need to know what we have. I'm not saying you can make that decision on 1 year, but that makes way more sense to me. And adding prospect or prospects into your farm system that you're trying to rebuild and reset, win-win to me.
Yeah, and on your point about Donovan, like I wish he's only played for with us for 2 years. I wish he was 25 years old, but that's not where we're at.
Same. Then we're not having this discussion.
Yeah, and I'd be great. I'd be like, there's
Yeah.
your second baseman of the future, but that's not where
Yes.
we're at.
Correct.
Um, JoJo, I think he should be as good as gone. The Cardinals keep, and I'm not gonna go through and dig up all these minor league left-hander names. I'm just gonna be honest with you, because
Yeah.
the odds are we won't see most of them ever, and maybe in spring training, you'll get one reporter that says, "Oh, the glove sounded loud on that one," when it sounds loud for all of them because they all throw hard. Anyway, they're really making a big. They're making a last episode. I said I think they're going to continue adding these lefties because I think they're going to trade Joe Romero. They already let John King go, and they need left-handed bullpen arms. They continue to add more and more of them, so that to me signals that they are definitely probably trading Joe Romero.
Yep.
And there for he makes even less sense to keep at until the deadline because we did this last year. Like they didn't get that much back for Helsley. Like we don't know what those guys will become, but it wasn't crazy. And that guy has a pedigree of being elite. Jojo Romero could go out there and have a 1 ERA in the first half next year, and no one's gonna pay you a price like he's Josh Hader because they know he's not.
Correct.
So there's no upside to keeping him. Please, I like Jojo a lot. Once again, nothing against him. He needs to be gone.
The Cardinals signed your boy. How excited for you for Ryan Stanek are you?
Ryan, first off,
I
not Ryan.
okay. Ryan.
Secondly, he's not very good, but he throws really hard, and he could have a Phil Maton first half, and then you can trade him for something.
Right. Yeah, that's I think how
They
it
should
was
sign
viewed.
two more.
Yep.
Like seriously, go sign another one. Why? There's no reason not to.
Do you think they're going to add a right-handed bat at all?
Heimblum says he wants to. I just don't. Who is it?
Harrison Bader?
Can I give you a hypothetical? No, because he's gonna get a good contract. He had a great year
You
last
think
year.
so? You think he yeah.
I hope he does. He deserves. He had a really good
Yeah,
year
I
last year.
agree.
He should
I
be
agree
back
with
in
you.
Philly.
I mean he's still out there, so I didn't know if
I
that
know.
great contract is still maybe a thing.
He's just like the Michael A. Taylor, but better. He's just gonna sign 1 year deals until he retires.
Right, that's
Uh,
which
he might
is
for okay. Let's say they trade Donovan, and they don't believe in Thomas Saggese, which I don't really think they do. And you're okay with letting Gorman DH a decent amount because Herrera's gonna catch. What if Eugenio Suarez signs a 1 year deal? Would you sign him here and let him hit bombs and then trade him?
yes, they won't because they're not going to give him that contract.
1 year, 15 million, 20.
He's going to Toronto.
They just signed a third baseman. That
Who? Oh,
Okamoto.
that's right. You're right. You're right. You're right. You're right. I forgot about that.
I don't think that's gonna happen. But like there's no. I
And
haven't
he's
heard a
going to
word about
Boston.
him. Do they? I don't know. They might trade for Donovan. They just sent Ranger Suarez. Like they have so much pitching right now.
They might trade for Donovan.
You know what I was thinking? We know that Boston, for some reason, wants to act like they're not the massive market that they are, which I don't know why that's happening, but it is. And they don't want to go too far over the luxury tax threshold. I'm wondering if maybe you can get a Connolly Early or Peyton Tolley, which are like their two stud MLB ready arms. Connolly Early started a playoff game for them against the Yankees. I think it was game three of that series. And I would take on Masataka Yoshida's contract and then just to get a better prospect with Donovan and then just pay all that contract and send him somewhere else.
What if the Cardinals trade Donovan and JoJo to the Red Sox, but in separate deals?
That's what they would do. And they'd get less in return for both if they did that. But I'm just
Oh
saying like that is a
goodness.
possibility to take on a contract that's maybe 1 year left and kind of treat it like they're treating these guys they're trading away and pay that contract for a year, but get
To get a better
a
prospect?
better return.
I,
I'm
we,
all on
I
board with
mean,
that.
yeah, I agree.
It's basically the exact same as trading Nolan Arenado, giving $30 million just so you get
What's
anything.
what's this payroll in 2026 look like for this team?
Low. That's why they might do it as well, because then it's gonna look better.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So, I mean, it sets up, and I know the Cardinal fans, it's again, I just still get a giggle when Cardinal fans think that they're still just trying to win right now. So I do get a giggle out
I
of
don't know
that.
who you're talking about. Get
I
off of
see,
Facebook.
bro, okay. I'm an old. I'm an
You
old.
can't hold
I
on.
run in
We're making
old
a new rule.
circles. I'm
No,
on
new
old
rule.
social media. I
New
see it.
rule. New rule on this podcast. Don't bring up anything that you hear from Facebook.
I can't, that's all I get on.
Don't get on it anymore. They're all I can't say that. It's bad.
Yeah, I don't get on that crap you get on.
Yeah, but at least I've cultivated a following where they're not
Yeah.
85
So
years old
I
tweeting
I just
AI pictures. Grandma texts
hold
me every
on.
once.
Hold on. Every time I get on there, there's somebody doing that.
My grandma, your mom, well, my only grandma, I guess now. Um, my grandma texted me a picture and said, "I heard Adam Wainwright's the pitching coach now." Because you
Oh,
got that from
jeez.
Facebook. That's what these
I
people
know.
are on.
But I understand. First of all, we understand, but I do feel like because we run this podcast and we are Cardinals fans and we are a Cardinal podcast, I do feel like it's my job to maybe
It's
help
not.
them. Help them.
There are people that have gone far enough to go to YouTube and watch a podcast, know what's going on.
I was not speaking of the people watch. I'm talking
Then
about
who are you talking to? The
people
Facebook
who still
bots?
buy tickets and go and call themselves lifelong Cardinal fans. There's a lot of see again. I'm in the old circle. You're not.
The people that are getting tricked by AI. That's who you're talking about.
There's not an argument over who it is, but they are the people who do spend more money probably than you do at Busch Stadium.
But
That's
why
all
do
I'm
I
saying.
care about them thinking things that obviously aren't real?
I would like them to understand why things are happening. Like
They're
that's the
not
teacher and
watching
coach
this.
in
They
me.
don't know what
All
YouTube
right?
is.
I understand, but I had a lot of students that way also who like didn't know things and it was my I wanted to help them. So I feel that sometimes that is my job. It's not, but sometimes I feel like it is. Sometimes I go about it maybe the wrong way also.
But but
However,
don't you think if they've made it this far in this podcast, they've already gotten the point?
yeah, I do. I'm
Okay,
not talking
then we can go.
I'm
Then we can
talking
move
about the fact
on.
that there is still a larger faction than people you think because you have insulated yourself with the mega MEGA Cardinals fans that are out there.
That was
That's
done on purpose, and you keep bringing
I
the stuff up that I've
not
avoided.
arguing with that. I'm saying that's not the entire group. That's all I'm telling you. Like you again, to micro macro did not do well in either of those economics classes. But like you are in the micro, I
You're
think
doing
the
the
macro is
inverse.
bigger and dumber maybe than you think.
No,
Not dumber.
I think you're doing the inverse and assuming that social media takes up a larger part of the fan base than it does.
Okay,
Most
that
fans
could be.
don't post anything about the Cardinals.
Okay. All right. So I'll just stop. I'll just let them be.
Well, if they don't haven't gotten it by now, then they're not going to get
They,
it.
that's But there are also, Caleb, what I'm trying to explain to you is there are people who do talk Cardinal baseball a lot,
Well,
okay?
they
That
should
I
stop.
know. And they still do believe that like they didn't get enough for Nolan Arenado because he's an all-star third baseman. That's still out there.
I mean,
And that's
yeah,
something
but
that I do think has to be like, hey, we need to look again, let's pay attention to what the organization is telling us. Let's pay attention to what we're doing and let's look to the future. And I think it's also this idea that a lot of Cardinals fans, not a, there's a number, I don't know the number, are still believing that it's 1997 or it's 2005. Like I do believe, or even 2015, where you're going for it every year, and this is not
2024,
what's happening. Right,
2024
that's
even.
fine, right?
But yeah, I also think if they're not going to listen to what Heim Bloom's telling them, they're not going to listen to what we're telling them.
That's a very valid point. That's a very valid point.
All right, so let's move on past the fans that are tweeting AI images of Nolan Arenado with saving a dog from a tree or whatever I see on
I don't know
social
if they're
media on there,
tweeting it because I'm not on X.
or posting it. Sorry, on
Except
Facebook.
gambling. My entire algorithm is now gambling.
That's not good.
It's fantastic.
Okay, let's move on. People have varying opinions on the gambling situation in our
Well, that's
country, and
valid.
mine is I can't win a parlay. Um, is there anyone else that you think there's a chance that they could trade? Like,
I think
is
there's three
Newbar
guys,
even
four
on the
guys. I think there's
table?
four guys.
Okay,
We've talked about Donnie. That's one. We've talked about JoJo. That's two. I still believe there's an outside shot that one of these three, so I'll say five. I think there's an outside shot that Newt, Burley, or Gorman get traded.
Burley's not
I
getting
don't.
traded.
I'm going to give Burley the least amount of chances. Right?
I'd
Like
go
I
less
think
than
that's
five
very rare.
percent.
Right. But I do. That's to quote Dumb and Dumber. So you're telling me there's a chance, right?
If you want
That's
my real percentage, I'd say zero.
okay. So then, if you want to scratch that one off, right, to quote Major League,
Okay,
um, just saying, we can do that. And then
okay,
there's your four: JoJo, Donnie, I think Lars, and I think Gorman. There's a shot if there's a team who is like in that second base market who believes they have a hitting coach or they have a philosophy that can bring out what the flashes we've seen, but more sustained with Nolan Gorman, which is something we should be doing here in
that's
St.
why I'm
Louis, by
yeah.
the way. But I'm
That's
just
why I don't think he gets moved.
okay, okay,
Because if someone
but
calls me, let's say it's a competent organization, like the Rays, for example, called it said this can be our Brandon Lau replacement. And I would say, okay, what are they seeing? Someone get in and see what they're seeing.
right.
And
Which
for
is a
new,
concern. Is that a concern for you as a Cardinal
no, the
fan?
reason
That
we're a
maybe
new
there is an
organization.
organization seeing what our organization isn't seeing? Or do we believe maybe it's not even there?
I think we need to get to a place where we realize this is a new organization.
So
So we
explain
haven't
that.
even seen a year under this organization.
Okay, okay.
So I'm not gonna. So was it a concern when Mosaic was here? Definitely,
Okay,
but he's
there
not
we
here
go.
anymore.
There we go. See,
Um,
I still am a little shell shocked by that, I think.
Yeah, I just think we until Heim does things like that, I think it's unfair to put that on him.
Okay.
But and then
100% we agree.
with Newbar, I think there's no chance I would trade him. The only way I would trade him is if you keep Donovan, and I wouldn't do that. So I think I'm keeping Newbar because you're not gonna get anything. I think if you were getting anything of value, he'd be gone. And he's not blocking anyone in left field.
Also, can we also go back to we talked about the cashing out in a parlay? You bet $5 on a parlay, you're getting $1.87 right now for Lars Nootbaar.
Mhm.
That's how I view it. Now
Yeah,
there could be an organization or two out there who don't view it that way, but that's how I view that. And I would go ahead and try to get Lars ready. He'd be my left fielder when he's ready, and if he is what we've wanted from Lars Nootbaar to be for the last 4 years, and he can put together and prove that maybe he's healthy for a season. That is a massive trade chip at the
yeah.
trade deadline. What? Talk to me again. Remind me about what his contract is
Same as
after 20.
Donovan.
Okay, that's what I thought. So that's a guy again. Both those guys controllable. So do you believe there's a point where that's where Heim is looking at? Hey, if these two guys come out, but that's a lottery. Like you're playing the lottery there.
You're not for Newbar because, like, it'd be playing the lottery, but what you're risking is a free lottery ticket.
Okay, okay,
Like you're not getting
yeah,
anything.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
For Donovan, you are because he just had an all-star season. So
Right.
there's a massive difference between the two, obviously. For Newbar, also, like, what if he's really, really good? And maybe Heim Bloom's expanded coaching staff and their expanded analytical staff has figured something out with him. Maybe he's your left fielder moving forward.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like
I'm not
there's
arguing.
and it's also like you said earlier, what we hoped he'd been for the last 4 years. I would argue that he's had 2 3 month stretches that have been great in the last 4 years.
Yes.
And if he does that in the first 3 months, there's a non-zero chance he's a top 2 3 bat on the market come the deadline.
Yeah.
Like he
He
said,
and
he could be a guy that like
he and some of
Houston.
the Marlins have.
If Houston's in it, right, they could be like that's our leadoff hitter right there. 'Kay, maybe he has his 360 on base percentage that he used to have. And maybe he has like he started off the year last year really well. If he
Was that a
continued that
shot at
for another
Altuve,
month,
by the way?
he can bat third, second.
He can.
He
Yeah,
didn't
I
bat
mean,
leadoff
at
when they were
this point,
good.
also, if we're going to be honest, are you going to run out an outfield of Burley, Scott, and Walker every day? Like, is that what your plan is? It's going to
Burley's
be
playing
Herrera?
first.
Huh?
Burley's playing first base.
I would assume so, but that's my point. Like, if you who is your
Nathan
left
Church.
fielder? No, we that's not. There's no need. for that.
That's the reason that I said the only way that I'd trade him is if Donovan's staying, and that's because I'd put Donovan in left field.
Do you? Let me ask you this. We were talking about Donnie, so I'm going to kind of rewind just a bit. You think Donnie ends up on that WBC team? Because it sure feels like that's a
No,
fit.
I thought he would, but then they just gave it to Ernie Clement for some
I
reason.
saw Ernie Clement, but that doesn't mean that. I
Why is
mean,
Ernie Clement on the team?
I was a little surprised. Maybe Donovan said no. I don't know.
He said he would love to do it, so I don't
Yeah,
know why he
okay,
would have said
that's
no.
I assumed.
I mean, unless it's one of those things where he just
Ernie
wants to
Clement,
wait.
very good player, by the way.
I do think that there's insurance things involved when you go to the WBC. I don't know how it
Yes,
works, but I know there is like actual paperwork and logistics that have to be signed. More so for pitchers, I think it's a little bit more strenuous of a process. But maybe it's as simple as he doesn't know where he's going to be, so he's not committing yet. I don't, that's
yeah,
possible.
because it just sure does feel that he'd be when you have Bryce Terang there at second base and who's playing third? Oh, Gunner's playing third. To have Clement and Donovan, not a bad. That's not bad
No, and I'd argue Donovan would have make a case to be able to play on that team.
to start over Terang. You think?
Terang's really, really good, so
He
I'm not
is.
taking that away from him.
Yeah,
But who's a better hitter? I don't know.
yeah.
You know, he's good.
I just
That team's
want.
gonna be
It just
fun.
seems like that's a perfect
I would love it
WBC
for
guy.
him. If
So would
there's a
I.
Germany team, he could play on that one too, but I don't think there is one.
No, they don't have a
He was
Germany.
born in
That's not.
Germany. Do you know
Yeah,
that?
was he born on a base over there? I
Yeah,
assume. Yeah, probably a lot of guys like that in the league.
I would imagine. Actually, probably not.
You know the one guy we haven't talked a lot about. I think we talked about him obviously a lot last year, but it's Jordan Walker. And I am really, really like I'm excited for spring training simply because I do want to see the. I know you're not. I get it, but I want to see is he actually going to be even like shade of what we thought he was going to be, and is he maybe going to take it personally? Like
Will
maybe he
spring
comes in and
training
takes
show
us.
that?
I don't know. I'm
It
asking.
won't. It won't.
Okay, that's a massive concern moving forward.
It's not a concern. I just don't care if he hits 500 in spring training. It won't change my opinion until I see him
I,
in the regular
I
season.
I'm not going to just base my entire thing on spring
I
training.
won't base anything on spring training.
No, neither do I. What I'm saying is I'm intrigued. That's a guy I'm intrigued to watch from spring training. I should have clarified through the start of the season
Yeah, me too.
because that's a guy
Yeah.
who, in my opinion, has more to prove than anybody else on this roster.
I mean, him and Gorman probably have an equal amount to prove, just in their own minds. But if in terms of our expectations compared to their outcome, I would say
Yeah,
for sure. I don't know if I'm excited because not that I don't think he can turn it around. I do believe he can. It's just going to take a lot of work, and hopefully he's putting that in. I don't know. I would imagine he is. I'm just going to assume he's putting in the work necessary. I'm more scared because if he's not good next year, it's never going to happen.
no,
Like, he's not
yeah,
here.
no. I'm going to be honest with you. Yeah, I think if he's not good and you're not seeing any progression at all, like maybe even a pretty significant progression by the All-Star break, he might just be in Memphis the rest of the year. Like there'd
There's
be
no
no
reason to
reason to
do
keep him
that.
here.
Well, like we were saying about Newbar, who for Nathan Church, like who you playing over him?
I,
There's no
I don't
reason to do
I
that.
mean who knows? Maybe Chase Davis puts up a great half. Maybe somebody
He
that
can't
we
even hit a
don't.
double A.
Maybe Michael Koperniak gets a shot. I don't know.
You
I'm
got
simply saying
hold on,
I
stop,
think
stop.
hold on.
You
I'm
got his
not
first
saying for
name
the
wrong.
future.
You got his
I'm
first
not
name
talking
wrong.
about for the future, Caleb. What I'm saying is that it might be to where they're just like Chaim Bloom is like, I'm done with this guy. Like that's what I'm saying. I
Yeah,
don't even want him on the roster.
it's possible. I do
I
think it's funny
didn't
that
mean for a guy for the
that's
I'm
not why
saying
I.
it
That's
might
not
just be
why.
more out of let's get him out of here.
Stop for a second. That's not why I thought it was funny. I thought it was
Oh,
funny was because you didn't even get his first name right. It's Matt Koperniak.
is it? I thought it was Michael.
What now? I'm confused if I got it wrong. Matt
I think I'm
Koperniak.
right, by the way.
No, Matt Koperniak. Yeah,
Oh, damn.
I knew it wasn't Michael
Sounded
Ciani.
good when I said it. Sounded
Michael
really good
Ciani on
when
the
I said.
Dodgers.
By the way, sorry. Have you ever had Afrin? Like that's new to me. That's a game changer. That's the only thing that allows me to breathe.
Is that the stuff you can get addicted to?
Yeah, that's what I've been told. So your mom gave me 3 days. I've got 3 days on. Evidently, I have to go to the urgent care tomorrow and get a thing. But either way, that's a game changer. So that's probably why I said Michael instead of Matt Koperniak, if we're gonna be honest.
It's probably because Matt Koperniak isn't very good. Okay, let's move
I'm
on.
not arguing that, by the
Um,
way.
let's. Do you have anything Cardinals related left to say?
No, there's not much to talk. Like, there's just not much to say right now.
No, there's not. It's all we've all said it all. It's all wait and see. Once spring training starts, someone's going to be in the best shape of their life, probably Jordan Walker, and
Right.
it will either amount to something, and it most likely won't.
Correct.
So let's go to the divisions because there are some things going on in our division. My favorite baseball player of all time is now a Chicago Cub, and I am not very happy about that.
Hold on. Did you say of all time
Probably, maybe not of all time. Probably,
above Jeter?
yeah. I'm kind of over Jeter. He's overrated. I've gotten more into that. Very
Yeah. Anyway,
overrated.
okay. Yes. That was a very Cubs-like move, by the way.
Was it? They spent a lot of money.
They did. That's the difference. But Bregman to me feels like a very, and I hate it because I feel like he's going to thrive there. Their fans are going to love him, and I think that team is a little. I hate. I mean, they don't have Kyle Tucker, but to be fair, down the last half of last year, Kyle Tucker was not very good. He was
So
great the
Alex
first
Bregman
half.
wasn't either.
Right. So it's going to be an interesting thing to see. That is that the best infield in baseball?
Ooh, it's up there. That's
Brady,
interesting.
Swanson, Horner, and Michael Bush. I'm going to say yes.
It might be. It's definitely up there. I'd have to think. I have to think
Yeah.
longer about that. But it's definitely
Hold
one
on.
of them.
It's definitely the best defensive infield,
Yes,
hands
for
down.
sure. Yeah. I mean, yeah, they have probably the two best defenders at their position. No, no. Mason Wins better than Swanson. But
He's
either way,
yeah,
he's still really good. Uh, it probably is the best infield in baseball.
I think so.
Do you think Alex Bregman's gotten overrated?
No,
I do.
I
And I love him. But I still think somehow 2019 is still in people's brains. Because he's just not that guy. Like
yeah,
that was a one-time thing. And like I don't know how much the cheating helped him. I do know he used it. All reports have been widely onto that. And we don't know how long they used it for, but we know they didn't get popped until 2020. So was it possible he was still using it in 2019 when he hit his 40 homers? I'd say it's possible. But I'm gonna give you his OPS over the last, let's say, since 2019 when he was like when he 1015 and he was just one of the best players in baseball. Since then, 801, 777, 820, 804, 768, 821. That's a good player. Is that a
that's
35
a
million dollar player?
in today's game, baby,
Is it?
and a winner, a guy who has won.
Bryce
Like I think
Harper
you have to
makes
throw that.
30
What
million
any Gold
dollars.
Gloves there?
Probably not because Matt Chapman was taking all of them when he was young. He might have one or two. Let me see.
I
He has
didn't know
one.
what hit.
He has
Okay,
one. 2024, he won one.
yeah.
Two top five MVP finishes. Those were both 18 and 19. And then he hasn't been a top 15 MVP finish since 2019.
Now injuries have had an impact there. There's no doubt about
Yeah, he's
that.
getting older.
Yeah, age. We agree. Like, but it still felt like a Cubs signing to me. Like that. When you sent me that, I wasn't as shocked as I probably should have been.
I wasn't shocked because I knew they were in on him. I just figured that Boston would get it done, which there's a conversation to be had about whatever the hell Boston's doing these days. Apparently, the only reason he didn't go there is because they want to give him a no trade clause, which is insane. Because the
Right.
Cardinals just showed you to you. They trade these players to you. You can move players that have no trade
Yeah.
clauses.
Yep.
Um, I think Bregman's a really good player. He's an all-star caliber player. I don't know why he's getting paid what you would assume guys like that are better than him would get paid.
Do you think that's the Kyle Tucker effect, knowing that they weren't going to sign him back and that you had to do something?
No, because even like the offer that the Red Sox gave him was still like 30 something a million.
Yeah.
I don't know, and maybe it's
I mean, where does he rank?
inflation
Like, if
also
you
a
were to go
thing.
through, where does he rank on the third baseman scale right now?
Probably top 3 to 5. I mean, he's not Jose
So, I mean, I
Ramirez.
understand the money. Like, if you were to look at it as just in a vacuum, yeah, it seems like a lot. But when you, I mean, maybe the all the intangibles. If you talk about it, you're talking about a top 3 to 5 third baseman still in the game. What is he? 32, 31?
I think he's 33.
Is he 30? Is he that old?
Well, he went to college,
Yeah, but
and
he
then
was
he
only there
got
three
came into the
years.
league in 2026. This is going to be his age 32 season coming up.
Okay, so that's what I thought he had to be in that area. I mean, he's not showing a lot of signs of like massive decline. I don't know. I think he's got to be in that top 3 to 5 in the league at third base.
He hasn't shown signs of decline, but really, like 2018 and 19, he was legitimately one of the best players in baseball.
Correct.
And then
Correct.
since then, he hasn't been in that conversation.
No, but he's still been insanely consistent.
Yeah, but it's like 17% above league average, 13, a big jump up to 34, and then it's 20,
And I
16,
think it also
28.
feels like if you're the Cubs, you look at it as that fills a massive void that they've really kind of been searching for a while at third base.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. I will,
So,
since Chris Bryant, yeah. I will
right.
say as well, we were just talking about how Nolan's 2021 was a little bit underwhelming for what he was getting paid and who he was supposed to be. That's what Bregman is every year now,
Yeah.
except for with those
Yeah.
homers.
Yep. I mean, I think Boston was pretty
And
happy
as
with
a
what he did
defense.
last year.
He was great in the first half, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And
I mean,
I think you're also paying for a guy who you believe can get you into the playoffs, and then you hope that that playoff breaky shows up again. I think
yeah,
that's got to be a
I'm
big part
happy
of
for
it.
him that he's getting
I'm
that.
not fired up for. I'm a big Bregman fan, so
Yeah, me too. I love him. I just don't know if sometimes on the free agent market, perception kind of beats reality. And I think
mo
that happens a
most of the
lot.
time.
Yeah. And for Kyle Tucker, I feel like it's going the opposite way for him for some reason right now, where he
Where do you
seems
think he ends up?
New York with the Mets
That I mean, that
or
just makes
Toronto.
sense.
There's apparently they've offered him like 200 million for 4 years. It's $15 million a year.
It is.
There's no way that's real.
I mean,
But if I'm him, I'm not taking it because then you're
just because
four
it's
years
only
older and
four
you have to get
years.
another contract.
Yeah. Where do you think
Like
Belly ends up?
Yankees.
You think he goes back there?
They haven't done anything. They traded
No,
for
they have
Ryan
not.
Weathers, but that's it, and that's not
Yeah.
exciting. Do you think the Cubs are the clear-cut favorite to win the Central? Well,
I
they also traded for Edward Cabrera, which we didn't talk about.
Oh yeah, that by the way, good. They gave up a lot in that trade.
I have seen something.
Potentially.
Oh, yeah,
Potentially.
right. They only give up potential. They did give up the Tucker replacement, which I was kind of surprised about. Like, can Matt Shaw play right field in between his sermons?
Yeah.
Um, anyway, I don't know. I that did shock me, but I have seen some prospect guys that said that Owen Casey was showing some signs of some worrying signs, troubling signs, I guess you should say. And Evan Cabrera is a guy that injured a lot. It's a big price to pay. It could have a big reward.
Yeah.
It could be really bad. But I think on paper they're the best team in the division for sure. But I still think the Brewers will win it because they just will.
Because that's that Brewers voodoo.
Yeah, they'll win it, but they shouldn't on paper.
Yeah. Hey, but you know who does have a job? Dan Vogelbach.
Oh yeah, was he their hitting coach?
He is now in is it Milwaukee? Yes. The man gets to, yeah, and I told you, I texted you and I said that's just because he gets to wear a hitter's jacket now. You don't have to wear that uniform anymore.
Yeah, he just kind of lingers. He's just like he's a guy that's I've heard his name far more than I ever should have.
I'm shocked he's not playing first base for the Pirates this year.
I'm shocked he's not playing for like the Tokyo Pirates this year.
Well, that would be good
He's
too.
probably hit 55 home runs over there.
So I guess what Tucker and Belly are really the only two big ones right now out there. Is that right?
Framber Valdez still available.
Framber, that's right. Yeah, yeah. And Suarez, the third
Wait,
baseman, Suarez.
oh, I was about to say he just got signed
Yeah,
today.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I don't. I think
Which, by the way,
Eugenio.
can I hold on?
Yeah,
Sorry, I did not mean to interrupt you right there. I thought for sure he'd go back to Arizona. Like I was shocked they traded for Nolan. Now it had to be a price thing, right? Like that's the
yes.
price was right. But didn't you almost feel like he was going back to Arizona?
I don't know. I think no. I think a lot of teams are not falling for what he did in the first half last year.
He puts up. Here's the thing. He puts up numbers every year.
He puts up some numbers every year, and he puts up really big numbers and strikeouts, and can't field a ball or throw it anymore.
There, but he can still hit.
He can hit home runs. Yeah,
I mean,
that's
that's a
about all he
DH
can.
somewhere, right? Like that's a.
I just don't know what he pay. Like he's obviously going to want to cash in on probably what will be his last contract, and
Don't you think it's more about? It's not about the money with him. It's about the years.
I would guess, yeah,
What is he? He's got to be what 33, 34, right?
at least.
Yeah,
Like he's over
that's I
300
would say.
homers.
So it's got to be that. That's got to be more of what it is. And I bet he's getting 1 year, maybe even 2 year offers from teams. But I bet he wants a 3 to 4 year deal. That's my
He's
guess.
34, going to be
Yeah,
35 in the middle of next year. He's sneaky. He's put up 27 more in
that's
his
what
career.
I'm telling you. Look at his numbers.
He had
Like,
49 jacks last year.
look, what did
That's
he hit in
crazy.
2024?
30. And
Yeah,
yeah, that's an outlier. 49 last year, including 36 before the trade deadline.
yeah.
And
I'm
then
not an argument, but he's
30,
still. I mean,
22, 30, 30, 15,
yeah,
49
it's
again.
a lot of 30 home run seasons for
How
Suarez.
sad would it be? And 49 home runs is a crazy accomplishment.
Correct.
But he's had two separate years, his two high water marks. He was one homer shy of 50 homers in both
I
years.
know.
Couldn't
I
get that
know.
one extra homer.
Yep.
And he's not going to get to face Miles Michaelis now, so he'll probably have four less.
Yeah. You know who should sign him? The Pirates.
Yeah, they don't have a third baseman anymore that I
They
know
don't have
of.
a bat.
Ryan O'Hearn was a good signing for them.
Okay, they got one bat.
Brandon Lau was a good trade.
They got okay, and O'Neal will have a flash where he looks great, and then he'll strike out 400 times. So
Yes.
that's
Eh,
just like that would be a spot. He's not
Ryan
going there, I don't
Reynolds is
think.
the weirdest player of all time.
Who?
Brian Reynolds, like he's great or he's
Yeah.
awful. I don't understand it.
Yes. Yeah.
Um,
All
yeah, I
right.
don't know.
Anything else?
No.
Okay, let's get to football real quick. Who
Okay.
do you got Monday night national championship in Miami? By the way, it's the first time in like I don't. I heard the number today 400 times on ESPN because that's what's on at the golf shop. But that a game has been played at home.
Indiana.
Is it still five? Are they a 5 point favorite? Is that the last I saw?
Maybe I think they won by 20.
Interesting. Okay.
I think they're by far the best team in the country.
Remember when you and I were
Yes.
heading to that bar in St. Charles and we thought Illinois had a shot, and then the next thing we knew it was like 30 to nothing and we only had two beers? And
Yeah,
that's
I
when
was
I
not.
said, is Indiana really good? And then remember when I texted you, maybe they're Fugazi because they were losing to Penn State, and then that guy makes the dumbest catch of all time? Can
Mhm.
can people stop telling me that this is LSU from 2019 though? Can we stop, please?
Sure, if you will stop saying that the SEC is better than the Big Ten.
I'm not going to say
Because
that
they're
because Indiana
unequivocally
didn't have
not.
to go to a through any close to a run of 4 or 5 straight games that the majority of SEC teams do. They just didn't. Now, I think Indiana's a great team. I don't know what they look like. You can't say that because we don't know what they would look like in the SEC. But they played. Would they beat three ranked teams all year till they played Ohio State? Like
They
you
beat the
didn't
best
go.
team
You
in the
don't go through
nation.
Alabama, Ole Miss, LSU, Auburn, South Carolina, Mizzou, Vandy,
Why are you
Florida,
saying
like
like those teams are
Georgia. You
impressive when
don't do
Miami
that.
just beat those teams in the AC from the ACC, by the
They
way?
beat one of them.
They're in the championship game.
I'm just saying, I'm not arguing. I'm not saying they're not great. I'm saying that I don't think the Big Ten schedule, the gauntlet of the heart of the Big Ten schedule, when you can go play Rutgers or you can go play Nebraska or Michigan State, there's only one or two of those teams in the SEC. There's
I
like
think
seven in the Big Ten.
I think if the SEC is gonna keep talking a lot of shit, they had to start winning a lot more championships than they've been winning.
I mean, what they win? They won like five in a row there for a while. Like what? They're obviously you're not gonna. I
There's
do
no
think
way they
there's
won
no
five in a
doubt.
row. Ohio
You
State's
and I
mixed in there.
agree. Oh, I don't know if you agree. There is no doubt that NIL is hurting the SEC more than it's hurting anybody because you don't have the depth now. The guys that you had on your second group of offensive or defensive linemen are now leaving the Alabama, Georgia, LSU programs to go somewhere else.
That's
Good for
good.
them, by the way. So
I think
that's
that's
what's hurting
good.
the SEC. So
I
that
don't
is
care about
definitely
the
leveling
SEC.
the playing field. Not arguing, but I will argue that the teeth of the SEC schedule is unlike any other conference in America.
Illinois
That's
beat
what I'll say.
Tennessee in a bowl game.
Huh?
Illinois beat Tennessee in a bowl
They
game. They had
did,
the
and they beat South Carolina. I'm,
quarterback.
I think that's a great. I mean, it's almost become any given Saturday now in college football. It's the same way.
I
Like,
just don't, I'm tired of people acting like the SEC is like leaps and bounds better, but they keep losing to the Big Ten all the time.
well, they don't lose to them all the time.
They lose at like every bowl game the last 2 years. It's
Well,
like
okay,
constant
bowl.
they're
First of all,
losing.
no one cares about bowl games at this point
The
because
players care.
50% of the players aren't even
Okay,
playing
Notre
in the bowl
Dame.
games.
Okay, fine. Then the Big Ten doesn't care either, but they're still winning.
I mean, okay, so hold on. The argument then, and I'm a big, I
Your
love the Big
arguments are
Ten.
your arguments are
They're
flawed because
not
you can use
flawed
the argument from both
because there's
sides.
no doubt if you were to look at the power rankings of college football, probably seven of the top 10 or seven of the top 12 are the SEC because of the schedules they play week in and week out. I would also argue who did Indiana play to open the season? They didn't play USC. They didn't go play Clemson. They didn't go play those
You're
teams. They
acting like
didn't
that's
play
not
those
accounted
teams.
for. Alabama had three losses and made the playoffs.
Hold on. Wrong. Look, first of all,
It's not
let's look at
wrong.
the
That's right.
five
That
run
happened.
wins that Alabama had that no one else in the country even came close to. See, that's what people want to ignore.
And then they lost in the playoffs.
They did. That fine. They lost to
Who's supposed to
Miami.
care? Like,
Or
yeah, they
Oklahoma.
lost.
Who they lose to?
I don't
Miami.
remember. Yeah,
Miami.
they lost after beating an SEC team. They lost to an ACC team, but the
Oh.
SEC is so big and high and mighty.
So you expect like one conference to just win every single game?
That's what
Like
no,
I
that's
don't
what people like
understand.
you talk like it is, and it's
No, they
not.
don't. I don't think there is like I would argue again, I'll stick to what I said, right?
Illinois beat Tennessee, who was like supposed to be a top 10 team this year, solely because they're Tennessee. There's no other reason to think they were going to be as good as everyone thought they were going to
Come
be.
on.
Am I wrong?
I mean, yes, you're wrong.
Okay. Well, they did lose to Illinois. They were a top 10 team to start the year, and then they ended up being dog shit.
I would argue that that's probably not correct, but that's
Okay.
okay.
That's fine. That's all right. SEC can keep being supreme except for when they lose, and then there's excuses.
I mean, I think that there is a valid I will argue, like I'm not arguing. I definitely believe that the um NIL has hurt SEC more than it has hurt anybody, and I'll go back to where I believe it was at the depth spot, and I think that is true. I'm not arguing that.
I think that's funny to me too that you're saying that. Like a lot, like there weren't great players from Big Ten teams that were going to the SEC all the time beforehand,
Tw
like Joe
Strength of
Burrow, for
schedule,
example.
just so you know, strength of schedule, 12 of the top 21 teams in the country were from the
That's
SEC.
because they overrate all the SEC teams and assume they're
It's
really good.
not. It's based on
Then why
the
are they
teams
all
you're playing,
losing?
dude.
They're all losing. So they weren't that good,
They're
clearly.
losing because they beat up on each other. When you again, let's just go through. Let's go through
Oh, this is so
playing
dumb.
Maryland, Rutgers, Penn State, Michigan State, like
So if the Bears lose on Sun,
Nebraska.
if the
Who else
Bears
is in that
hold on,
league?
stop.
Northwestern.
If the Bears
Um,
lose, stop.
Trash.
If the Bears lose this weekend, then are we gonna be like, oh, that's because they played in the NFC North?
Once you get to the playoffs, it's over. Like that's different. That's a different animal.
So then why are
But
we
there's
talking
no. I
about
mean,
it? They all lost.
are you really wanting to argue Indiana's like scheduling versus let's say
They
Alabama or
beat Ohio
LSU
State.
or Georgia's?
The difference is those teams can lose to bad teams and still be in the top 10.
I think Ohio State beat two ranked teams all year.
LSU lost to Florida,
I
but they're
well,
so
actually they
good.
did. LSU beat Florida, by the way,
Who
this year.
lost to
So
Florida?
let's
Who was it? Ole Miss? Was that who it was?
LSU also was not good this year. That's why they fired their coach.
But the strength of the schedule is accounting for them being good.
Yeah, because they play Alabama, Ole Miss, Mississippi State, Texas A&M, Tech. Like they play those
Sounds
teams
like a lot
that
of
are.
teams that lost to Big Ten teams. So it sounds like to me. It sounds like a team that just lost to Miami from the ACC, who arguably shouldn't have even been in the playoffs.
That's wrong. That's another wrong argument.
Were they
They should
not
have been
on
in
the
the
verge
playoffs.
of
We
getting
already talked
kicked
about
out?
that.
They weren't even in. They weren't even playing the ACC championship
So
game.
which why we need to get rid of conference championships.
They
We
weren't even
agree.
as good as Duke,
Who Illinois beat?
a Big Ten team. And then the
By the
team
way,
that
happy. I'm pumped for Illinois. I'm pumped for the Big Ten. But I also will argue, and I will stick to it, that in basketball, baseball, and football and softball, it's not even close.
basketball is definitely arguable. That's definitely arguable. The Big Ten's really good at basketball. It is.
I'm not arguing that it's not good.
Teams like LSU they suck every year. The big schools in the Big
So
Ten
do
don't ever
teams like
suck.
Maryland.
What are you talking about? They were a one seed last year, and their best
Were
players
they really?
going to
Were
win
they
Rookie
that
of the
good last year?
Year. Yes, they had Derek Queen.
Oh, that's right. But so does Penn State and
They won the Big
Northwestern.
Ten
They suck.
tournament.
They're terrible.
Who? Penn State?
Yeah.
Okay.
Actually,
Alabama's only
this
been
year
good for
I'll
like
give it to
five
you.
years.
I haven't. To be fair, I'm gonna not lie.
Oregon's
I
always
haven't paid
good.
a lick of attention to college basketball yet this
Illinois is
year.
always good.
So yes,
Purdue's
we
always
agree.
good.
That's fine.
Michigan's
That's a
normally
valid
good.
point. This year I was probably wrong. Last year, what were there like 12 top 25 teams that were in the SEC
Yes,
or something like
yes.
that?
After the Big Ten ran that tournament for years, yes, sure.
They ran the SEC tournament.
No, they ran. No, okay. The Big Ten was the best basketball conference for like 5 straight years before last year.
Was it?
Yes.
What about the ACC, bro?
What about them?
I
Them
mean,
and
they
their
were
two
the golden
teams.
standard forever.
Their two teams. Duke and UNC. Who else? Who am I
I
missing?
mean, Wake Forest,
Oh,
Virginia.
give me a
Virginia won.
move on.
Virginia just won. What are we talking about?
Okay, fine. Okay, let's move
I don't
on.
know what you're
Do
talking.
you,
I don't know what you're saying here.
we've been doing this for a while. Do you want to get to the NFL really quick and then
No, but
move
I
on?
do want you to tell me the last Big Ten team to win a national championship in basketball.
Michigan?
Michigan State in 2000.
There's no way that's real.
Okay.
Purdue hasn't won one
Purdue
since
has
then?
never won one. Actually, the one that won it was Maryland, but they were in the ACC at the time.
There's no way that's real. There's no way. Hold
Well, we
on.
can go through them here. Going backwards, Florida SEC, UConn, Big East, Kansas, Baylor, Big 12, Virginia, Villanova, North Carolina, Villanova, Duke, UConn, Louisville, Kentucky, UConn, Duke, Carolina. I'm noticing a pattern here. Kansas, Florida, North Carolina, Connecticut, Syracuse, Maryland, Duke, Michigan State.
Not
And
very many
before
SEC
that,
teams
by
in
the
there.
way, before that, 1989, Michigan. That's
Okay,
the
not
two in the last 40 years. So
okay.
you
Hold
talk to
on.
me about their
They
supremacy?
still they still get a ton of people into the tournament every year and go to the
Okay,
Final
you
Four a
just made
lot.
my SEC argument that you
Your
argued
SEC
against.
argument there, ACC, obviously, apparently ACC runs the thing.
That's yes,
And
that's
the
what I
Big
said.
East. Basketball's weird. Let's move on. That is weird.
Thank
Like
you for
this Big
if you're
East
still
team's running.
listening. I hope you enjoyed this.
NFL.
Oh, what NFL? You had a good weekend. You went 6-0.
I should have placed a parlay on all six of those teams. I
Yes,
told
you
you
should have.
Philadelphia are frauds. They couldn't even beat a beaten up San Francisco.
Do you know who else I think is a fraud?
Who?
New
Texans?
England.
I don't.
I do.
I think Drake May. I think you have to account for the fact that that was Drake May's first playoff game and it was freezing cold.
I think, and I shouldn't have said. I guess I don't think. I think Houston's going to beat them.
CJ Stroud might be the worst quarterback I've ever seen play football.
He's not. He's not. But I
He's
did text you
horrible.
that. Yeah, remember that he. Well, 5 turnovers and they won. I all he has to do if he does not turn the ball over 5 times, they're going to beat the Patriots for sure.
He also fumbled three other times that weren't turnovers.
I know. I know. I know. So it's going to be interesting. I also, by the way, I don't know. I didn't pick this in our league, but I do think Buffalo goes and beats Denver.
I have Buffalo winning the whole thing.
Yeah, I hope they do. To be
They
honest
don't
with
have
you,
anyone standing in their way. Denver's good.
Denver is staying in their way.
I mean, like
That's
in
it.
big. I mean, like in the past, he has Lamar Jackson and Mahomes to go through, and
Yeah,
Burrow. He doesn't have that.
yeah.
Like he has Bo Nix. Like if I'm taking
And
someone to
I
win a
feel
big
like we
game,
are
it's
being
him.
very disrespectful to Denver because they are the number one seed for a
Their
reason.
defense is incredible.
I'm intrigued though. Only the two games that I'm the most intrigued. Well, that's one, but I'm really intrigued by this Rams Bears game because they're saying it's gonna be like nine minus
Yeah,
10 wind chill with like 20 mile per hour winds. And I know Stafford, like I get it. Hey,
as
it
I was
won't
gonna
bother me,
say.
bro. You went to Georgia and then you played in a dome and now you play in LA. That's gonna bother him
That he played in the NFC North for years.
in a dome.
He wasn't playing on the road.
Did talk to me about how many playoff appearances Matthew Stafford made as a Detroit quarterback.
You're gonna sit here and watch what this man has done since he's been in LA and blame Matthew
Because
Stafford.
that's not what I said. What I said was I think those conditions with a busted hand is going to play
That might be a
massive
problem.
havoc on Matthew Stafford. If he were in LA or if he's playing in a dome, my money is 1000%
Matthew
on
Stafford
the Rams.
had a lot of great games on the road in the NFC North
He
when he was
played
with
really
Detroit.
well last year in the NFC Championship at Philly, except for that last throw.
He played in the cold his
I,
whole first half of his career, dude.
he played in a dome and
He
lost every
plays
other game out
road games.
and lost. They
That was
didn't
they lost the
win.
games at home too.
Yes.
That was not his fault.
Thank
God, that
you.
was not. Do not blame Matthew Stafford for that. That's
I'm
so
not, I'm
unfair.
just saying, I
You
think
have to win
that's
an
got to
MVP
be a
at
question mark.
35. Respect
I
him.
think that's got to be a question mark all the time. And I also agree that it is a question mark potentially for Houston going into New England. I
Is
agree with that.
Hold on, is it not a question mark that Caleb Williams, who only played in Southern California, is now going to play in the
No, because he's
cold,
now played, what, 3 seasons in Chicago, 2 seasons in
and he's
Chicago,
playing
right?
against the best pass rush he's seen for
Wrong.
weeks. For
He
weeks,
played against Micah Parsons twice.
he did.
Yes.
Micah Parsons is out for the year.
He is now. He didn't play against him in the playoffs. He played against him in the regular season. At
He
least once.
he got hurt in that game in the first quarter.
Okay, but he played in the other game.
I didn't
That's
say
what I'm
best
saying.
pass rusher. I said best pass rush.
I,
He's played in a
I
while. That Rams pass rush is gross, dude. They have like three guys on that team with 10 sacks.
I think it's going to be 4 fun games. I really do.
I think the Rams are a much better team than the Bears if he can get the ball to his receivers.
The Rams, to be honest, should have lost to Carolina.
I don't know if Carolina played
They
bad
should
too, so I
have.
don't know if that's fair.
They should have. If
Yeah, but guess who they had? They had number 9 out there. Did they not? And he went down there and he won the game.
I love Matt Stafford, he's a Hall of Famer, no doubt about
He's
it.
gonna win
Right?
MVP this year.
Should he should.
So what are we talking bad on him because he can't play in the cold? He
I'm not
definitely
talking
can.
bad on him. All I said was I think it's going to be tough for him to go into Chicago with that weather conditions and a bum hand. That's all I said.
Yeah, those two things might make him closer to Caleb Williams, but he's still better
Caleb
with a
Williams has been
broken hand.
incredible down the stretch.
Yeah, but
Not good in
he
the
has to
first
go
half,
down. He
but
has to
great in the
go
second
down
half.
15 to do
Is
anything.
that what time is that game? Is that the early or the
It's a
late
Sunday
game?
night game.
Oh, Sunday
Why is it
night or
at
Sunday afternoon?
5:30?
So 5:30
That's the
Eastern,
last game of
probably.
the weekend. Why is that
5:30
5:30?
Eastern, so 4:30 here.
No, 5:30 Pacific. No,
So
why would it?
5:30 Central. So it's gonna be dark, windy, and cold, and those Bears fans are gonna be hammered. That's gonna be a wild game.
There's gonna be a double doink to end it.
These kickers, man, they haven't helped their cause in these last couple weeks.
Why do you think Sam Darnold's gonna win the Super Bowl?
I I don't think he is.
You have it on your bracket.
I know I do. I regret my whole bracket.
I laughed when I saw that. All
Yeah,
four
I
of you
want him
picked
to though.
Sam Darnold.
I
I
want him
don't.
to. I just feel like their path. Like if you look at their path, right? So you get San Francisco now. I think that they win that game. I don't know if it's easily because I think San Francisco plays with a lot of moxie. Losing George Kittle is going to, I think, hurt them eventually. I don't think it caught up to them in that game,
Their
but I do
defense
think
is
that
so
hurts
hurt
them.
too.
Yeah, they've got no linebacking core. I also do think that then you get a home game against the Rams or the Bears coming off what I believe will be a hard fought game. I just think their path to the Super Bowl was the easiest. That's why I had them getting there, and I just don't trust. I had them playing Denver, but I don't trust Denver to win a Super Bowl, so that's why. Because now I
Why?
think Denver's going to lose this week.
Why don't you think Why don't you trust Denver to win a Super Bowl?
I just don't.
They have a Super Bowl
Seattle.
winning
I think
coach.
Seattle just going down to San Francisco to play in a Super Bowl. I think that defense is better than Denver's, and I think that offense is
Yeah,
better
it
than
is.
Denver's. Denver cannot run the ball,
Well,
and you're
they're not
not
gonna
going to
play
throw the
Denver,
ball
so it
in
doesn't
Seattle.
matter.
We've seen that. So outside
Yeah.
Stafford did it. Fine, whatever.
Oh, interesting.
I love Matthew. Okay, we got to get
And,
out of
and
here.
we know that
We've gone too
Seattle is
long. It's time to
notoriously
go. This
warm.
thing has gone on way too long.
Yeah, it has. We know, but we do know that Seattle's a notoriously warm place to play.
It's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be an
It's
interesting
cold.
weekend. But I
It's,
understand. I'm just saying. I'm saying though that I think Seattle has the best road to the Super Bowl of all teams. If we're gonna
they
be
do, but
honest,
they're going to lose to the 49ers probably.
they. I hope not. I really do.
And then the 49ers are going to get killed by whoever they play in the
That's
championship
why I
game.
hope that that doesn't happen. So, all
All
right,
right.
let's get out of here. If Donnie gets traded, we'll be back. If something else happens, we'll be back. We are going to try to be better with our schedule moving forward. As the hot stove has hit, we've got I think 29 days until pitchers and catchers report for the Cardinals. I think it's like 33 days till the entire squad reports. I believe it's February 16th. Then we've got the WBC coming up, Westbury training. So we are going. We promise we are going to be better. We are past the holidays. Hopefully, I can get past the illness.
There's also
Hopefully,
nothing to
Caleb.
talk about half the time.
Well, that's the problem. But we came up with something, so we'll be good.
Talk about Donovan
So
again next week.
exactly. Well, we will be back. It was good to be back, and we'll talk to you soon. Go Cards.